Noam Chomsky, a name synonymous with intellectual dissent, is a renowned linguist, philosopher, and political activist. His critiques of power structures, particularly his analyses of capitalism's inherent flaws, have ignited global debates and inspired generations of activists. Chomsky's intellectual contributions extend far beyond academia. He is a fearless critic of state power, corporate greed, and the systemic injustices perpetuated by capitalist systems. His work challenges conventional narratives, urging us to confront uncomfortable truths about the world we live in. Chomsky's voice, a beacon of reason and resistance, continues to resonate with those seeking a more just and equitable world. In Consequences of Capitalism, Chomsky embarks on a searing indictment of capitalism, exposing its inherent contradictions and devastating consequences. He delves deep into the mechanisms that drive this economic system, revealing how it operates under the guise of free markets and individual liberty, while in reality, it perpetuates a cycle of exploitation and inequality. Chomsky argues that capitalism, far from being a system of free markets and individual liberty, is inherently exploitative, prioritizing profit over human well-being and environmental sustainability. He highlights the stark contrast between the opulent lifestyles of the wealthy elite and the harsh realities faced by the working class and marginalized communities. Chomsky contends that the relentless pursuit of profit under capitalism inevitably leads to vast inequalities of wealth and power. This system, he argues, is designed to benefit a small fraction of the population while leaving the majority to struggle with inadequate resources and opportunities. This concentration of wealth in the hands of a few comes at the expense of the many, eroding social cohesion and undermining democratic principles. The social fabric is torn apart as communities are pitted against each other, and the promise of democracy is overshadowed by the reality of economic disparity. Chomsky's analysis serves as a stark reminder that the true costs of capitalism are often hidden, borne by the most vulnerable members of society and the planet itself. The environmental degradation, social injustice, and economic inequality that result from this system are not mere side effects, but are intrinsic to its operation. By unmasking these realities, Chomsky calls for a re-evaluation of our economic priorities and a move towards a more equitable and sustainable future. Chomsky identifies several key problems inherent in capitalist systems. One major flaw is the prioritization of short-term profits over long-term sustainability. This focus on immediate gains often leads to the depletion of natural resources, environmental degradation, and a disregard for the well-being of future generations. Another glaring issue is the widening gap between the rich and the poor. Capitalism's inherent tendency towards wealth concentration creates a system where the few at the top amass vast fortunes while the majority struggle to make ends meet. This economic disparity erodes social mobility, fuels resentment, and undermines the very fabric of society. Chomsky's critique of capitalism is not confined to theoretical abstractions. He grounds his arguments in real-world examples. He delves into the systemic issues that arise from prioritizing profit over people and the environment. By examining historical and contemporary events, Chomsky illustrates how capitalism often exacerbates social inequalities and environmental degradation. He cites the climate crisis as a prime example of capitalism's failure to address long-term challenges. The relentless drive for economic growth, often at the expense of environmental sustainability, has led to severe consequences. From melting glaciers and raging wildfires to flooded cities and widespread pollution, the signs of ecological distress are unmistakable. The relentless pursuit of economic growth, often fueled by fossil fuels, has pushed the planet to the brink of ecological collapse. Deforestation, industrial emissions, traffic congestion, and oil spills are just a few examples of the environmental toll exacted by unchecked capitalism. These activities not only harm the planet, but also threaten the health and well-being of countless communities. Chomsky also points to the 2008 financial crisis as evidence of capitalism's inherent instability and its potential for catastrophic consequences. The crisis revealed the fragility of a system built on speculative bubbles and risky financial practices. The collapse of major financial institutions and the subsequent economic downturn had far-reaching impacts, shaking the global economy to its core. The crisis, triggered by reckless speculation and deregulation in the financial industry, led to widespread economic hardship and exposed the deep flaws in the system. Foreclosed homes, soaring unemployment rates, and shuttered businesses became common sights, highlighting the human cost of financial mismanagement. Many individuals and families found themselves struggling to make ends meet, facing an uncertain future. These examples highlight the urgent need to reevaluate the costs and consequences of unfettered capitalism. The growing calls for economic reform and the increasing number of voices advocating for change underscore the necessity of addressing these systemic issues. By rethinking our economic priorities and embracing more sustainable and equitable practices, we can work towards a future that benefits both people and the planet. Section 5, Seeds of Resistance. Challenging the status quo. Despite the formidable challenges posed by capitalism, Chomsky finds hope in the spirit of resistance that emerges in response to injustice. He argues that throughout history, ordinary people have risen up to challenge oppressive systems, demanding greater equality, justice, and a fairer distribution of power. From labor movements fighting for workers' rights to civil rights activists demanding racial equality, Chomsky highlights the power of collective action to challenge the status quo. He sees these movements as a testament to the human spirit's enduring capacity for resistance and its unwavering pursuit of a more just world. Section 6, Charting a New Course: Alternatives and Solutions. Chomsky acknowledges that dismantling capitalism is a monumental task, but he remains optimistic about the possibility of creating a more just and equitable world. He advocates for democratic socialism as a viable alternative to capitalism, a system that prioritizes social justice, economic equality, and democratic participation. Chomsky believes that by democratizing the economy, we can create a system that works for everyone, not just the privileged few. He calls for greater worker control over the means of production, emphasizing the need for economic systems that empower workers and ensure a more equitable distribution of wealth. Section 7, A Call to Action: Reclaiming Our Future. Consequences of Capitalism is more than just a critique, it's a call to action. Chomsky urges readers to become informed, engaged citizens, willing to challenge the status quo and demand a better future. He emphasizes the importance of critical thinking, urging us to question the dominant narratives that are often used to justify inequality and exploitation. Chomsky's message is clear: we are not passive bystanders in the face of injustice. We have the power to shape our own destinies and create a world that reflects our values of justice, equality, and sustainability. Section 8. Beyond the Book: Chomsky's Enduring Relevance. Chomsky's work remains strikingly relevant in today's world. As we grapple with issues like climate change, economic inequality, and the erosion of democratic norms, his insights provide a valuable framework for understanding the systemic roots of these challenges. His unwavering commitment to social justice and his fearless critiques of power continue to inspire activists, scholars, and engaged citizens around the world. Chomsky's legacy is a testament to the power of ideas to challenge the status quo and ignite movements for positive change. Section 9. Conclusion: Towards a More Just World. Consequences of Capitalism is a powerful indictment of a system that often prioritizes profit over people and the planet. The relentless drive for economic growth and corporate profits has led to widespread environmental degradation, social inequality, and the marginalization of vulnerable communities. From the choking smog of industrial pollution to the heartbreaking scenes of deforestation and homelessness, the impacts of unchecked capitalism are stark and undeniable. Chomsky's work serves as a stark reminder that the pursuit of unfettered capitalism comes at a high cost, one that is often borne by the most vulnerable members of society and the environment itself. The environmental destruction we witness today, the impoverished communities struggling to survive, and the devastating effects of climate change on those least equipped to handle it, all point to a system in dire need of reform. However, Chomsky also offers a message of hope. He emphasizes that change is possible and within our reach. Through peaceful protests, community volunteering, and the adoption of renewable energy projects, we can begin to address the systemic issues that plague our world. These actions, though seemingly small, collectively contribute to a larger movement towards justice and sustainability. He reminds us that we have the power to create a more just and equitable world, one that prioritizes human well-being, social justice, and environmental sustainability. By planting trees, cultivating community gardens, and participating in social justice rallies, we take tangible steps towards a better future. These efforts not only improve our immediate surroundings, but also inspire others to join the cause. The first step on this journey is to engage in critical reflection, to question the status quo, and to embrace our collective responsibility to build a better future for all. By participating in discussion groups, planning activist campaigns, and attending educational seminars on social issues, we equip ourselves with the knowledge and tools necessary to effect meaningful change. Together, we can challenge the existing power structures and work towards a world that values equity, justice, and sustainability for all.